Hey everyone, this is Respawn Sam. Today I'm testing The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on the RTX 5060, covering very low, medium, high, and very high settings. FPS numbers are visible on screen, but I'll only talk about how the FPS feels during gameplay. Let's begin from the lowest settings and move up step by step. Starting with very low settings. At this preset, the game clearly prioritizes performance over visuals. Textures appear simplified across characters, environments, and objects. Surface detail is reduced, and fine elements like scratches, dirt, and wear are less visible. Lighting is basic. Scenes look flatter, and depth is reduced, especially in indoor areas. Shadows are minimal and sometimes missing altogether. However, where very low truly shines is how the game feels to play. The FPS feels extremely smooth and unrestricted. Camera movement is immediate, with no resistance. Turning quickly, aiming, and tracking enemies all feel effortless. So while very low performs extremely well, most players will want more visual quality. Let's move to the next preset. Now we're on low settings. Here, visual quality improves noticeably compared to very low. Textures are sharper, and environmental detail starts to return. Surfaces look cleaner, and objects are more defined. Lighting improves as well. Scenes regain some depth, and the world feels less flat. Basic shadows are present and help ground characters in the environment. Despite the visual upgrade, the FPS still feels very stable and smooth. Movement remains responsive. Camera control feels consistent and predictable. Combat continues to feel reliable. Enemy encounters don't introduce sudden slowdowns. Stealth sections feel precise, which is important for this game's pacing. Exploration becomes more enjoyable. Indoor areas feel more natural. Outdoor scenes show better contrast and structure. However, the game still feels visually restrained here. Medium settings are where things begin to align more closely with the intended experience. Moving on to medium settings. This is where the game starts to feel properly balanced. Textures show real detail. Environmental surfaces look natural and layered. Lighting becomes more realistic. Shadows are better defined and placed correctly within scenes. Indoor and outdoor areas feel more cohesive. The world now feels closer to the developer's vision. Environments look more immersive, and characters blend naturally into the world. The FPS still feels controlled and stable, but the GPU is clearly doing more work now. Not struggling, just actively engaged. Gameplay remains smooth during exploration, traversal, and combat. Camera movement stays consistent. Input response remains reliable. This preset feels comfortable for extended play. There's no constant sense of compromise. Medium settings are ideal for players who want. Now we're testing high settings. At this level, visual quality takes a clear step forward. Textures become sharper across all environments. Lighting gains more contrast and atmosphere. Shadows are richer and add depth to scenes. The game starts to feel more cinematic. The FPS still feels playable, but no longer effortless. You can feel the system being pushed more during complex scenes. Combat remains smooth, but movement feels heavier compared to medium. Exploration remains enjoyable, but performance demands are noticeable. High settings are well suited for players who value immersion, want stronger visual presentation, are comfortable with a slightly heavier FPS feel. RTX 5060 handles. High settings. Well, but this is where optimization begins to matter more. It's a clear visual upgrade. Now let's push everything to the limit. Finally, we're at very high settings. This is the maximum visual presentation the game offers. Textures are at their best. Lighting is rich and detailed. Shadows feel realistic and dynamic. Every environment feels highly detailed. Small visual elements stand out more clearly. The overall presentation feels premium. The FPS feels noticeably heavier at this preset. Still playable, but clearly the most demanding. Movement remains smooth, but responsiveness is reduced compared to lower settings. Combat is still functional, but this preset prioritizes visuals over raw smoothness. Very high settings are best for players who want the best visuals possible. Play at a slower, story-focused pace. Don't mind trading some smoothness for immersion. RTX 5060 can handle this preset, but it's clearly operating near its limit. This setting represents the visual ceiling for this GPU. So that was The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered on the RTX 5060, tested across all major settings. If this helped you decide which preset suits you best, consider subscribing. This is Respawn Sam, and I'll see you in the next video.